we're going to talk about aliens, alien life and aliens.
Is that why you're wearing your alien shirt?
That's right, guys.
Dude.
Xenomorph,
Dude.
But no, it's fun to kind of go into this whole thing because, look, aliens are something that, I don't. Okay, let me ask you this, John, before I stutter myself to fucking death.
Can someone stutter themselves to death?
I'm dying, dude.
If it happens on our podcast, if that's what it takes to get us a viral video, then maybe you got to stutter yourself to death, dude. Affirmations. I'm thankful for couches. It's comfortable to sit on this.
I'm thankful for Ottomans, not only because of the comfortability, but because of their empire.
I'm thankful that hard drives are getting bigger.
I would like to strap myself to TGI Fridays.
Affirmations.
Yeah, I'm like having a brain fucking aneurysm right now.
Brain fucking aneurysm. What is it? What's going on?
Oh, so, okay, alien life, man.
Alien life.
When you think of aliens, John, do you comprehend what the history of human beings' relationship with the idea of aliens is at all? Because I never did until I looked this up. Because I was like, when did it come into consciousness, right?
Oh, alien stuff?
Yeah.
That's a great question. I mean, I've only been alive for, a few decades, so I can't imagine that when did it come into? Why am I even trying to figure it out? You got all the answers. You're the one with the clipboard.
Well,
I should have a clipboard.
When you think of aliens, what do you think of? What comes to mind?
Like if I was in a writing session and they're like, first three things that come to mind when you think of aliens. I think of the tacky, generic big eye, teardrop upside down face of aliens. I think of Roswell, that movie Fire in the Sky. And I think of the band Alien Ant Farm because my buddy Mike was friends with one of the guys from that band. And he told me about it a lot. He was like, they're badass.
They had
a huge hit because they did the Michael Jackson cover, and they basically had a whole career based off of that. Has nothing to do with actual aliens, but then it makes you think because of the name Alien Ant Farm. What is Earth? Humanity? What are we doing here? Is somebody watching from afar, and are we an alien ant farm?
Yeah, it's nuts, man. I mean, that is a great way to look at it, and very. That's a great name. You made me realize how brilliant their name was.
It's a great name, dude.
Yeah, it is. Okay, for me. Doing this research was kind of cool because I thought about what I think of when I think of aliens and how we perceive them. Roswell is that's a thing that we all know, like Area 51.
Yeah, Roswell.
You think about that. I mean, of course, now we have all this pop culture and fiction to think about with E.T., Famalian, the softcore pornography film that was in every blockbuster. It was the only porno to be in every blockbuster. Famalian, dude.
Femalian?
Femalian.
Oh,
Our
nice,
friend Alex Rigo would spank it to that film a lot, I think.
Sexuality is a very interesting thing.
Not to put you on blast, dog, but I would spank it to that as well. I mean, Harley showed me my brother, disturbing E.T. porno parody where it was French and it looked like a fucking paper mache.
Oh yeah.
It was so disturbing. I mean, it was
AI is gonna make parody porn even crazier because it's been cartoon stuff.
Yeah,
dude. You can accidentally click on some Simpsons stuff and you'll be like, "What the heck?" Before stuck porn incest came out, Simpsons, and all the big cartoons.
Yeah.
Did you ever get ads for that stuff?
Yeah, Bob's Boners.
Yeah, stuff would just pop up on the screen. No pun intended. Yeah. And I would just be like, "This is insane."
Yeah.
Because how do you whack it to cartoons? It's so flat.
Yeah,
you can't honk a butt cheek,
No,
you can't bite into an ass.
Yeah, it needs to look like.
Is that too much info? Is that TMI?
You could fuck a puppet. Now that you put
oh my god!
Right?
Don't tell Edward.
I won't. Dude.
Stay the hell away from my puppets.
Actually, that's how I first ejaculated. You know that? Into a
puppet. Are you serious?
Yeah.
That makes so much sense.
Dude. Okay. I should get a little personal here. When Ontario Mills, it was a very adventurous big mall to be built here. Remember when?
How old were you when Ontario Mills was built? I feel like you're not old enough to. Okay, I guess that's fair.
So I had the the Elmer's glue, the clear glue come.
Don't judge, guys.
Yeah, the first time a lot of boys.
The clear cum?
The clear cum.
The pre-vasectomy cum?
Yeah.
It's clear.
But I remember feeling it because I started fooling around. You start touching yourself. It was a panda puppet that my mom got from the grand opening of Ontario Mills. And I remember putting that on my
grand
penis.
Indeed.
Yeah. It was grand when I locked eyes with it when I first came. Literally the first time I came ever. I'm looking at a puppet ugh. So I can only come if I'm at the zoo. Or
if you're watching or listening right now, hit the share button. Send this to someone who would appreciate that story.
Yeah, send it to your fellowship. I'm sorry, guys. All right, we're gonna get into
you were a kid when you were doing it.
aliens.
No one's judging you, except for probably most of our watchers and listeners.
Well,
But,
let's hope they're still there. But
that's
I
right,
mean,
yeah.
I think they're pretty open-minded if they're here, about aliens.
Yeah, no, they're
right?
fine. Right? Yeah,
Yeah, they're good. Very
usually like the alien and the furry crowd. They intermingle.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They
right.
do.
I'm a Dan Aykroyd guy, and my wife she likes to wear a panda outfit, and my friend Rob always tries to attack her.
Oh man. Well, dude. So look,
I like how we're just gonna gloss over all that now and be like, now let's get down to brass tacks.
let's do it, guys. We're gonna just fucking get right. I don't know why I'm swearing so much, my friend. It's
Well, you started talking about fucking puppets, and then kind of it's like it
Yeah.
opens the floodgates to like this is the late night podcast you've been looking for.
yeah, we gonna get and we're gonna talk about interesting stuff and maybe have some expletives. But like youth pop culture has done a lot to like influence what our relationship is with like aliens and stuff.
Yeah.
And everything from freaking Mork and Mindy to like Marvin the Martian to alien movies to the like War of the Worlds. There's so much stuff that has been in there. But I was thinking about where did it all originate in our society and human beings and what our thoughts were. And I looked it up and it's pretty fascinating because like
Yeah, dude.
it's been around for quite a while. Like, but it's weird because you look up history of aliens or alien, like the word alien. I kept finding just the law, the alien law, which is like a American government law. But I came across when it first came out, it was like a Latin word for someone from somewhere else.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
where alien came from. But then I was looking at like, okay, I want to know when like we first started talking about it, and I looked up Martian, and that was like kind of the 1880s when H.G. Wells and stuff, all those guys started kind of talking about, Mars and life on Mars. And is there life
on Mars?
David Bowie.
You got cat hair. Oh.
Are you sure that isn't just alien life, dude?
I honestly, dude, if you're ultra advanced, you'd just be small enough that you could float around undetected.
Yeah, they talk about that. Like what?
If we're making drones out of mosquitoes, it's like, then wouldn't you make like a particle drone that's even smaller? That you can vacuum up?
Yeah. No, right.
Right? Inner Space, Dennis Quaid.
Dude, great movie.
Great movie.
Martin
Dennis
Short.
Quaid, great actor.
Yeah, dude.
He just played Reagan.
Yeah, Reagan. My friend went to it and he fell asleep in the movie.
Oh, I bet, dude.
And he woke up to
How
Nancy.
dare him? Reagan, how dare him? Reagan gave us so much punk rock because he was so bad to the poor.
Dude, there was a lot of good punk, dude.
A lot of good punk, dude.
During
All
that
my
era.
friends went. A lot of my friends went and saw that and the Sound of Freedom
Sound of
together.
Freedom. Yeah,
It was
double
a
feature.
twofer. Yeah, like
Yeah. I heard someone tell me like, yeah, it's a movie about,
suburban family weekend movie excitement.
yeah, get the kids together. We're
Get
gonna hear
them
about
together.
murdering pedophiles.
That's right. We're
or
gonna hunt
catching
them
pedophiles.
down. Then we're gonna watch a movie about Reagan.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Wow,
crazy.
Dad.
Dude.
Thanks for taking us.
Yeah. I don't know.
You don't even
man.
know what to say.
I don't, dude. I don't know what to say.
Can I just say this though? You were asking about where that might have originated. I did read a really good book a long time. This might have been more than a decade ago, but a Graham Hancock book, and he talks about like folklore with like fairies and like elves and like all this stuff being like kind of like blended together with alien abduction and like people being taken by elves and fairies and like going to other realms and stuff like that.
Wow.
And like
dude.
so there, he has like a really interesting take on it. That's I wish I remember the name of the freaking book. It was so fascinating.
Wow, yeah, I'm sure it is, dude. I'm sure it tingles the old brain there, but
Tingle in the brain.
tingle in the brain.
Help me scrape the mucus off my brain. Okay, tell us what you got there on that clipboard of yours. The big old juicy clipboard.
Well, look, the crazy
I found
thing,
the clipboard.
the clipboard, dude. Sign me up, brother.
Men have so much trouble finding the clipboard. It's embarrassing, honestly. Doesn't matter what kind of bifocals you got on, you really got to ask for directions.
Well, I know that I've got mine right here, and I can find the G
Do you
spot,
mind if I
dude.
flick the bean? I mean the clipboard.
Oh, dude. Oh, man.
All right, go.
Okay, so aliens. It's what I ended up finding was extraterrestrial is where it all came from. That's the word. That was the bingo. That's where it came from. That's where all this. Okay, so it's been around for a long time. Ancient Greek people would theorize it, and they would. But what's funny is for forever, it's changed over time. But it was all like it wasn't necessarily like what we think of the gray guys. We think of the gray aliens or like the little green people,
little green men
that sell beef jerky near Vegas.
They call them the Grays or something. Yeah, the beef jerky. I've been to that place.
Yeah. And I was going to teach you about the racists, so we weren't racist towards aliens in a minute. But
okay.
Yeah, like so. Look. Then they just thought it was other human beings somewhere else, pretty much is what they would theorize. Like, oh, there's got to be like other people somewhere else.
That's
like
fair.
In the galaxy, you know? And so in the stars, you know? And so what has happened is fiction about it, theories about it, all that has developed with just our relationship to science over the years. And so like, that has always existed with science, kind of like in theories and stuff. And so, like over time, it's evolved. And you know, there was a dude in the early Roman, first century AD, I think, was right. He was a writer, and he's the first dude to do sci-fi. Like they credit his story, a true story, which was like satirical.
Yeah. And then they burned him alive.
No, actually, well, then they were a little bit more like it wasn't quite Christian all the way yet.
Yeah.
Like Christ had just died or whatever. So like it wasn't Constantine didn't come in and be like, hey guys, we're gonna freaking love Christ, bro.
And you're like, well, I just was being imaginative. They're like, well, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Huh?
Well, that's what's funny.
I'm just using a telescope. Death.
Yeah, well, yeah, Middle Ages it like reversed.
Yeah.
Like you had to be like,
is it crazy we can go back as a civilization? Like we did all that cool shit. Like when you read about the
we're
Middle
about
Ages,
to do it right now.
Do you think so?
Maybe.
How so? What's your
well, because I feel like when people get into survival mode, they get less like, well, what about the stars? It's more like, how do we fucking make it through this? You know, we don't have time for that.
Are you talking about climate change or what are you talking about?
Yes, but it's weird because no, it's not climate change. We ignore that for some reason. Climate change.
What is it? AI?
Well, when you think of the average man.
Is this breaking news?
Yeah, it is. Breaking news. No one cares about the preservation of
firearms ownership.
Well, I wish that the corporations that owned us would think about climate change a little bit, because if they want to keep making money, do they? They do. They have what green
You can't get a
initiatives.
clear reading on anything these days. You have people running around. What do you call it? The like hysterical about so many things. You're like, who's right and wrong? And then like things come to pass, and you'll be like, the thing you were hysterical about and sure about didn't happen. What else are you wrong about? But then it doesn't mean that the other thing that the other person was talking about was wrong too. It's a big confusion. But I'm just curious. Where do you think? What do you think the next, evolutionary like filter we need to pass through is?
I don't know.
I thought it was like AI and like climate stuff, and I mean clearly AI is like, even though we make fun of it, we're seeing it's like VR. People be like, it's failed. You're like, we're still in slow motion. We're still just 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Like things are still going somewhere.
Well, no,
so like AI is gonna change stuff if they can't even without even crazy technological robots shooting us like Terminator. If they can't figure out like universal basic income and keeping like currencies and all these things like in check so we don't have runaway inflation, it's like you're going to have to pay all these truckers that you're going to replace.
Yeah.
Even that alone is pitchfork, lynching shit that's going to happen, right?
Yeah.
But Congress will stop and write checks just like they did during the pandemic. Okay, we'll just send you guys money. Everyone stay chill. We're just sending you money.
Yeah.
But that you can't do that forever and have the monetary system that we have right now. So all these things, you're like, there's big challenges with that, even without Terminator robots. But what are you thinking?
Well, I mean,
aliens?
Yeah. Well, I think
just trying to get us back on track.
Yeah.
Also getting us on a tangent.
That was a great take, because that kind of goes into play with, will we ever talk to them? I mean, I was going to get to that a little bit, but I think that all this stuff we are progressing to something, whether it's the robots serving you Thai food in LA being the future or the AI, there is something rolling still right now, but who knows? Like, so for me, like, I was really blown away that this alien kind of concept has been around for that long. And like, dude, yeah. So the Romans and Greeks, the true story, which is like satirical, but that was the first story to talk about like outer space wars, even. And yeah, dude, it was from like 100 something AD. It's crazy.
They're like imagining chariots, like, and like people like flinging things at each other, like these aliens.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of a cool like view. An alien on a chariot is pretty dope.
Yeah, dude.
Someone should make a shirt.
An alien on a chariot.
It's my favorite Dio B-side.
It is a really cool. It was actually Iron Maiden wrote it, and then Dio did it. Yep.
Yeah, dude. No, but so
Bruce Dickinson,
dude. Oh, that's beautiful, dude. Mr. Dickinson, dude. I wonder if they have
Mr. Dickinson. Sing us a song. And fly your airplane. It's a big schlong. I don't know. That's all that could rhyme right there. Okay, all
right.
Is it a quiz?
Okay, well, I don't really have a quiz, but I can make a quiz out of it. Okay, so I was thinking about the history of our relationship to aliens. So years go by, the Middle Ages are very, they're not really excited about new ideas. So like, hey,
I've noticed.
Get out of here, you bunch of queers. We don't need your little science. Say,
yeah.
Hey, Galileo or whatever, you with your wizard hat over there, you little clown, gravity.
We don't like new ideas.
No, we
dark.
don't.
Can't you see the ages right now? We're dark.
Yeah.
Just go polish a stone and wear some leather shoes and walk through the mud.
Well, I don't want to be what is it called? I don't want to be too super
time assist
on the Middle Ages, Dark Ages. Dark Ages is like now historians kind of like it wasn't really all dark. You know what I'm saying? It was like there was progress.
We're gonna do episodes on that, dude.
We will.
I got a quiz coming up for you on that.
Okay.
And I'm like, some of it, they'll be like, see, they were interesting this way. And then they'll also be like, and then they were really bad about this stuff. Like, it was just different.
All time.
It was just different. Oh, yeah, dude. Like,
but yeah,
listen, if you're going to take any time to be alive, you want air conditioning, right?
Yeah.
A hot shower in your house, stuff that we should be grateful for now. You're like, okay. They did have some cool art in the medieval time, but the food sucked. They didn't have condoms, so everybody was just walking around scratching their crotch because they all got stuff. People were getting killed for dumb shit. Anesthesia wasn't around.
See, that's why I think
it's good.
Things could go like that. You
think things could go back there.
Yeah, but because when things get better,
do we just pull a gun out on this podcast and kill ourselves? It could get bad again. All right, fuck this.
No, we'll leave that for the aliens. But I think like the Middle Ages and stuff, the Renaissance and the Enlightenment period is where things got better because
they still sucked too. If you could look back at the Renaissance, like there's Inquisition.
Yeah,
like it still fucking sucked.
I know it took time. It
really does,
and that's everything. And that's why I think like our perception of aliens and our thought it really just escalated a lot in the 2 centuries ago. Like really when a lot of like fiction and people started thinking about it more and then there was a lot of sightings too. Like the sightings, I was like, when was the first sighting? Okay, there's a lot of dorks and a lot of people out there that'll talk. And God,
not us though, right?
Robert? A lot of us. I'm not us. I'm no dork.
No dorks in here.
All right, we're all on a spectrum cable of some sort, and I'm not knocking those folks. But look, like all the ancient aliens were like the Egyptians. It was an alien that came. All the like stuff. Like literally, they have writers write that show. Yeah. I'm not saying that there isn't. There couldn't have been some sort of otherworldly thing back then that we don't know about that had technology to help them make
Fair
things.
enough.
But a lot of that was a lot of that stuff is sort of like no. Well, they couldn't then because it's very like almost racist. I think a little bit where it's like they couldn't have done it. But we could, now.
What's on that clipboard?
Okay, so what I was getting at is when people really got a hold of aliens and the perception of it was Roswell. It was in the 40s. But there had been pilgrim sightings of aliens.
Mm-hmm.
And when Roswell happened, that really changed the game and opened everyone's mind to aliens.
When there were pilgrim sightings of aliens?
Yeah, there was. There was of UFOs.
You mean like the pilgrims that came over to America from Europe?
Yeah.
They were like,
they had UFO sightings in like in the colonies.
There's like really? There's like recordings of that.
Yes. So that was UFO sightings, not aliens per se, but UFOs. That's
before we had airplanes too, so you couldn't be like, it was just the government testing out a new spacecraft.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
it's a weather
there is
balloon.
no government and there is no spacecraft.
Well, so that is the excuse. Because when I think about Roswell, I just know, okay, it crashed and it was a UFO. So what the government said initially when it happened, when there was the Roswell crash and it's
weather balloon.
The weather balloon. That's what they said. They said it was a weather balloon.
Did I just take the piss out of what you were going to say? Were you going to drop it as a punchline? Weather balloon, folks.
I know.
I just said it like that. Weather balloon. Yeah.
No, you got it. But yeah, so the weather balloon. But then in the later on, it came out that it was like a diversion because they were doing. It was something with like the Cold War or war with someone or Russia. It was like a move, like all the shit that's going on out with the weird China balloon stuff that we don't understand. It was something like that with a weather
China balloon.
There was the weather balloon that was over us last year. Remember that?
Okay.
And there's not really a clear explanation what that is. And I think that Roswell thing was one of those things that they were making for Russia or something. It was just like they were messing around
Obviously,
with it.
You haven't seen the Joe Rogan episode with the guy that was there.
Oh, dang, dude.
Here's what I don't get about that stuff. when they say like it was a UFO and we have pieces of it here. It's like they have all this technology to like travel at the speed of light.
Yeah.
But they like they had a malfunction on the wing of a UFO.
Yeah, yeah. It wasn't like
they don't
precise.
have nano robots that could go out and fix something while you're midair.
Yeah.
Like you're just like, we had a malfunction.
Well, I think during Vietnam, when people started losing a lot of trust in the government, one of the guys that was around at that time that was like in the government was going against
the government.
Yeah, dude, we can trust him, dude. I mean,
we can trust what he says in the government.
Well, he spread a lot of the UFO stuff where he backed it up that it was aliens and that the government was covering it up to sell books. And that's when everyone was like, oh, shit, this guy that was with them said it. And then other people said stuff, too.
Oh, yeah. They always say, like, what does that guy have to gain? It's like, you still gain stuff. Like, people just get off on, like, having people listen to them lie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, they have nothing to gain.
And I met a
They lost
Martian.
their careers. Like, they sold books. They're signing autographs. They're probably signing a couple titties.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they have a lot to gain by lying.
Yeah, the Martian. He had a huge green cack, and he was I don't know.
Back to Chicago?
Yeah, back to Chicago. Where aliens exist.
Okay. So here's my question. This stuff started off, as far as we know, Greco-Roman times. Oh no, pre-Greco-Roman. We're talking about prehistory, right?
Yeah. Well, like as long as the stars have existed, I think people have probably theorized something. I think.
Oh yeah, definitely our ancestors.
Yeah.
Like far back.
Yeah, but Greek, and that time, like. Yeah, they were the first ones to kind of theorize other people somewhere else.
And then we just jumped to pilgrims standing there going like, hey, anybody got any pumpkin pie? What the fuck is that?
Yeah, then Roswell.
And then Roswell. But the from the pilgrim era, what is that, the 1400s, 1492, when Columbus
like 16, 1700s.
Yeah, 16, 1700s. Like at that time,
America.
like you could see, like I saw, what do we call it, like the meteors when they turn green and sparkly?
Yeah.
I've seen them like multiple times where I've been like, what? It looks like it's like right in your face.
Yeah.
Like when the sparks are coming off them, you're like, it feels like you can reach out and grab it. And you're like, what did I just see? Like I've seen them like light up the sky green. And you're like, what is that? And then you read about it, you're like, that's a meteor. Like that's what those gases that get created from when it's burning up. But it looks like it's right in front of you.
It's insane.
So they could have seen something like that. Like they see something hovering going like a 1960s like movie prop. But is there any details on that from the Pilgrims?
There is an article on it that I have. But you know what's funny? Here. That one I didn't have printed out, but
it's okay. I'm digging too deep. You're like, don't ask that question on the podcast, please.
No, well, they would say that they saw like stuff shaped like a saucer, which is really like they said swift as an arrow, and it was in Charlestown, which is in one of the fucking old colonies, but. Yeah, I guess it was like in the 1639.
That's pretty fascinating, though. I mean, I'm definitely like, it's got to be a trip like pre any technology. Like now you can have like a large itemized list of things that it could be. At that time, you're just like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah, well, theories abound about what the Puritans actually observed that night in 1639. The most common theory hypothesizes that the pale light in the sky was an ignis fatuus. The phenomenon appears.
A fat guy that's dumb?
Yeah, dude. Ignoramus, man.
Ignis fatuus?
Yeah, dude. Hit up
That's what they called me in elementary school.
Oh, dude. Well, I guess, yeah, so the Pilgrims.
What's an ignis fatuus?
I
just wanted to joke while you were researching. I didn't want to cut you off and then not talk about it.
I think it's a term for like phantom, like a phantom, like it's like Latin for like, like it's another play on that kind of thing. Like that's what I'm surmising with.
Wait, so you're reading an article like they probably didn't see an alien, they probably just saw a ghost. You're like, that doesn't help me out in the square world. Neither of those things help me out.
Well, I guess they said that it was shaped like a saucer is what people are saying.
This is why we needed to get Neil deGrasse Tyson on this episode. He didn't return any of our emails.
I mean, the Pilgrims, they saw stuff and it looked kind of like a sphere or a disc.
Okay.
And then in the 19th century, a lot of people started writing about Mars. They started writing about Martians and Mars, and that was a big thing. I think it's a lot of science breakthroughs. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, so like the telescope
Darwin and all
photos
that
where they're like, dude, we saw Mars, and then it ignites people's imagination and their focus on that thing.
Yeah, because there was people that would say that there was life on Mars because they would see things because of telescopes.
Yeah.
And so they would just assume that there was life on Mars. And since now we have fucking telescopes that are on Mars, like we know that there's water, there's dried up water.
No, but then people are like, they're just not telling us about
Yeah, right.
The Nazis have a moon base. They got a Mars base.
Yeah, they've got a Venus.
Nazis in space is like one of the most fascinating things because you can delve deep into that.
Well, as long as there's human beings, there will be a sort of Nazi in space,
That's right.
sure. But
or a hippie like me being like, "You're a fucking fascist," and then you could translate it into like Nazis.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Okay, so let's get back.
So Roswell is really what kind of cracked it open, and then in the '60s is when you had people starting to give. Like, that's when the sci-fi thing just blew open with aliens in the 50s and 60s.
Film, too.
Yeah, movies in the 50s, there's a ton of sci-fi, men from another world.
Yeah.
Roswell sparked that. And then in the 60s, they had a ton of alien stuff. There was this couple that claimed that they were abducted in the 60s, and that one that's when all the abductions started to really like blow up.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that there's other accounts that I don't know about, but that's like a pinnacle one is in the early 60s. And then I looked up the history of probing, people talking about getting probed. The exact number of people who have claimed to be probed during alien. Okay, why is probing the thing that they do? Like, is that the only orifice?
Graham Hancock actually approaches that in his book. He talks about some of that stuff. But yeah,
why is the anus the best orifice?
Some sort of like
to test us.
You know how there's like wires in our brains that are crossed, and people are into like the chicks that are into like true crime, and it crosses into the sexuality thing, and some people like pain and pleasure is crossed in there, like where those centers are. Or whatever. I'm saying this in the most like diarrhea of the mouth, like knuckle dragging way, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So there's something that's possibly connects like abduction and like things stuffed up your butt.
Well, we're gonna see fun. This is a fun.
That's the clinical term.
Yeah. Well, we're learning stuff right now, and this is fun facts. The exact number of people who have claimed to be probed during an alien abductions is difficult to determine because such reports are often anecdotal, very widely, and are
anal
not
doodle too.
Yeah.
Anal doodle,
dude. I'll see them as well.
Anal doodle. Anal doodle.
A guy plays a horn in his ass to that song.
That's an anal yodel.
Oh, dude. Yalla you up a butthole. That probably feels good in the butt, in the butthole.
Oh, dude, lots of stuff feels good in the butt.
Dude, well, apparently aliens love to go in it because in the Roper poll, 1991, one of the most well-known surveys estimated that about 3.7 million Americans believed they had been abducted by aliens. Of those, a smaller subset reported physical examinations of probing. Through the specific number is it's not clear to find. Reports from abduction researchers, notable figures in the field such as Dr. John Mack, Bud Hopkins, and David Jacobs have documented hundreds of cases involving claims of alien probing, other invasive procedures during abductions. However, these numbers are based on personal case studies and not reflective of a broader population. You know what's fascinating to me is the alien abductions have never not been a terrifying idea. I mean, holy shit.
Well, how would they not be?
Dude, Fire in the Sky, dude, Twilight Zone, Close Encounters, all these things. That movie is the absolute most terrifying alien abduction movie. Fire in the Sky.
That is a horrifying movie.
I don't know if anything tops that as being a terrifying alien abduction story.
It still scares me.
It is wild. And that's based on someone's account.
Yeah.
And that movie, I don't think anything could ever surpass it because everything's CG now. But like, holy smokes, guys. If you haven't seen it yet, it is terrifying. Another movie that people talk about a lot was The Mothman Prophecy. I forget what
Is that an alien movie? Mothman
it's
Prophecy?
like an alien fucking ghost moth or something.
Okay.
Someone could knows. But the one in the 2000s that was about the owls in Africa and the correlation of these owls with alien abductions.
Africa. I saw some aliens in Africa.
But yeah, that movie, it was funny because it was showing real abduction footage and fake abduction footage right next to each other, or fake alien sightings or whatever. And it was so strange because so many people went to that movie duped. They're like, oh yeah, it was strange how many people thought they were watching actual alien abduction footage next to fake. I'm like, if this was real footage, it would be the biggest news story. It's such a hack.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of bullshit. And to me, I'm like, what is real that we know about it? And I was looking it up about like life forms that we know of that aren't us before Earth. and they say that there could have been life with meteors and water and all this stuff. I'm not Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Panspermia is one of the things.
That's right, panspermia,
dude, which I used to think was when you come in a pan and see how it fries up.
It's like Pam, the spray pan, but it's sperm, right?
Basically, it's that on some sort of intergalactic piece of debris.
Yeah,
there was mushrooms or something that could grow into. I think tardigrades can survive. In space, something that could survive interspace travel and all the radiation and lack of oxygen and whatever else, and then it hit Earth, and it spawned into what we have now.
Well, see, alien.
That's possible, right?
Yeah,
it seems like it could be.
Well, yeah, and that's the thing. This is where I'm at with it now. Is like,
yes, Robert, tell us where you're at with it now.
Well, I think
my Barbara Walters style.
Thank you.
I'm wearing my news. Robert, tell us where you're at with that now.
Well, who knows what shape or form they're in and how sophisticated they are. They may not be visible to our eyes.
You talking about like right now, aliens here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always how I feel about it. Whenever anyone's like, the spaceship crashed, it's like, we have plastics that when you break them, there's little particles inside them that have the liquid plastics, and when they are exposed, they form new plastic and dry with the air. We have that. Dumbass humans. No offense. Not saying we're dumb, just in comparison to something that can travel through like dimensions or wormholes or whatever. So to be like, or we have nano robots. We have all these things now, even just some of them that are in basic concepts. You're like, something that's been around for 1 million years can't figure out how to fucking...
No, but they have large heads.
They're getting caught.
They have large green heads.
It is possible that they are completely unworried about being found out by us, because we're so unintimidating to them that they're like, they don't even bother. But it's still hard to imagine that they still wouldn't just like turn into send a robot mosquito, a robot virus particle, like something so tiny. Or if it has to be as big as something big and physical to have the kind of camera that they'd want or whatever to test stuff, that they wouldn't have birds that are just like animatronic, like...
Right.
The buffalo from Westworld walking around, like it would be a bird, obviously. So they could fly, but
Mickey Mouse.
Like it just seems like all the stuff is so basic and boring that you're like, that's what you think aliens are here messing up and we're catching that.
Well, they're in the government, dude. The reptilians are here.
Maybe that's some of the high tech stuff where you're like, they're not floating around. They're like interdimensional, like just forming wherever they want and fucking our faces or whatever. You're like, all right, maybe, I guess.
Yeah,
because of alien ant farm. Cheers, callback.
Yeah. No, but
right?
Yeah, I think so.
Right? That's my Valley Girl fucking. But right?
That's probably what it is, because back in the day, in the Roman times and Greek times, they would think of other people elsewhere, and then it evolved in the Middle Ages to animals. They would like animal-like creatures, and that's why in like H.G. Wells stuff, it's like big squids and octopuses.
Oh,
and even in H.P. Lovecraft, it's like a demon, what's it called? The fucking Necronomicon, the creature Cthulhu. It's like a squid.
Cthulhu, yeah.
Yeah. So like
Metallica.
Yeah, and then it wasn't until the green aliens and the gray aliens, and that's when everything since then has had that influence. But then there's the xenomorphs, and there's so much stuff that we've evolved with. But I'm at the point where like I feel like it could take on any shape. I mean, there was a pretty cool. I was looking at the theories on why we haven't met them yet. And this is a bullet point thing I can go through real quick, but there's a paradox. This paradox arises from the observation that while there are billions of stars and planets capable of hosting life, we see no evidence of alien civilization. So we can't there's nothing that we know yet. So we haven't met them yet.
Because time and space is so fucking weird.
Yes.
That like distances are incomprehensible once they're far enough away.
Yeah.
How the fuck can we even see anything? We can't even see anything far.
Yeah. So
we see a picture of it. We're like, that was from 1 billion years ago. The light just got here. You're like, well, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know who I'm frustrated with, God or science or the whole thing.
Well, that's in here. It says vast distances. The immense distance between the stars could mean that even advanced civilizations' signals could just be too weak to detect us. And you know what's funny? The theory on talking to them and why we're not putting more into like trying to send out like a WhatsApp, what's up, dog?
Yeah.
Were you guys out here, aliens? A lot of smarty pantses, Stephen Hawking, who loved Epstein Island, he commented on.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was there. He made the dwarves paint naked, and he laughed at them trying to do math equations.
Really?
Yeah, that came out.
God, everything's so weird.
Yeah, but his theory on aliens and talking to them is like, we have to be careful with them because they could do what Christopher Columbus did. They could just come and just mine us of our minerals.
Totally. And
just
give no two
bounce.
shits, just rape and pillage or just like dissolve us and be like, get out of the way.
Yeah, who knows if they have, maybe they're advanced. We have emotions, so we could be flawed. I mean, think about how many things you don't do because you have emotions.
Yeah.
Like, so they could be beyond that just to, like some civilizations try to change.
I have more faith in that good is like a fundamental,
you know what there is,
fundamental energy in existence, but
E.T.
maybe. I mean,
E.T.
and huh?
E.T. had a heart.
I mean,
dude.
yeah.
He liked Reese's Pieces.
He phoned his home, dude.
Yeah.
He cared.
He also got cancer, which was really sad. Remember that scene where he's like all sick?
Oh, yeah.
He's like alien
That was,
cancer.
yeah,
he's
E.T.
on this planet.
And then he's like, get me the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
He's like, the water made me sick.
Dude, so there's all these theories on why I haven't met them yet. Who knows?
I liked
we
my
will.
riff.
I like it too, but I want to get something before I forget.
Oh yeah, dude.
And that is this is kind of something cool that I was really moved by. But there's this strange album that I came across called UFO, and it's Jim Sullivan. It's a really crazy story. Like I would love to make a movie of this guy's
Sully
story.
J, let's hear it.
Well,
It's an album,
yes.
like a music album.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So there's a folk singer in the 60s named Jim Sullivan that made an album that was he's supposed to be like the next big folk singer, right? And it didn't do well, like numbers wise. So he was really depressed, and he relocated his family from like the South to LA, and it did not work out. And so he was struggling, and he made this really dissonant album.
Depressing. Thank you so much.
Well, he made an album about.
And then the Coen brothers made a movie out of him, and Oscar Isaac played him.
Yeah, I could see that actually, Jim Sullivan, but I would rather have one of us, dude.
Okay.
I think this would be fascinating. But they did, he did this album called UFO, and it was about like his feelings on just being like kind of feeling dissonant from everything because of the failure of like the career being in that rough patch.
Yeah.
So he made songs about like basically leaving here, leaving this planet, leaving this like existence, and like going with aliens. There was a lot about aliens.
That's kind of a pretty poetic way of him expressing his feelings.
Yeah, and you talk about Jerome, Arizona. And
I didn't even know that was a place. I thought it was a black guy we know. Dude, you got to get him on your show, Road Dogs, which is every Wednesday at 9 p.m. at
guys, check it out, dude. Yeah,
Jerome, Arizona is headlining.
Yeah, he's going to crush, dude.
Jerome, Arizona,
fuck, dude. What's these aliens?
That'd be a funny character if Jamar started doing that.
Dude,
like,
Jerome,
Arizona. Like,
that's a great
Jamar
name.
would be hilarious about that.
Dude. Well, Jim Sullivan made this album. He had a lot of, there's a song Highways. It's beautiful. You'd love it. Highways, so good.
Well, let's check it out, dude.
Such a moving album. But he ended up disappearing, and his car was found, no trace of him for 50 years in Jerome, Arizona. That's the last time people saw him. So there's a lot of speculation of him being abducted by aliens.
That's so badass. It gave me kind of goosebumpiness.
Yeah, I'd love to make a movie on it, dude. Like, because it's so,
dude,
it's such a crazy
and
thing.
He's still never been found?
No. His wife talks about it. And this couple.
Oh, he was married?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
He's living in Peru with a new family.
Okay.
I thought he was abducted by aliens. All you need to tell me, he's married and he went missing.
Yeah, yeah.
I threaten my wife every time my kids are both doing something crazy at one time. I'll be like, I'm going to go buy a pack of smokes and get a passport and move somewhere else.
Well, dude, yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah, I had something here that I wanted you to read.
Hopefully it's not a letter that says that you're going to Jerome, Arizona to meet the aliens.
No,
because we got a lot of podcasting to do.
I know. I think it's real fun though. This one is a little segment I like to call Fast and the Furious erotic fan fiction. This is real fan fiction out there that these folks who like Fast and Furious films have made about. I mean, we're road dogs, dude. We're on the freaking road, dude.
We're on the road.
Yeah.
Right now, we're actually on a couch.
Yes, but
don't false advertise, Robert. These people
dude.
trust us. We made commitments to them and our sponsors.
True.
Here's our sponsors. Suck my dick. Hey, Christmas is coming. It's coming fast, and when something comes fast, you need to try to get it in front of it to make sure that you don't get covered in. Well, you gotta get Christmas gifts. You gotta get them now. So the best thing to do is start by going to this website. That's right. Thomas Zwick is a glass maker, and we love him. And he uses his talent to make great stuff. Have you seen these things, Robert?
I mean, boy, it is beautiful glass.
Oh, these are great. He makes a butt plug like nobody's business. I still have one somewhere inside me.
Man, where is your butthole?
Our next sponsor is... And now a piece remains. When a loved one passes away, whether it's your dog, your cat, your turtle, your zebra, whatever you've kidnapped from the wild and deprived of a natural life, or one of your loved ones who also has been deprived of something, because haven't we all, living in this mortal coil, Robert? Anyways, call up Dee. Well, you can call her, but I prefer to email her. I would say that's the most respectful way. She will, speaking of respect, take care of your loved ones. She'll take the ashes from one of your loved ones and she'll put it into art so they can be immortalized forever. A piece that remains. Here's her info. Contact her. Tell her we sent you. She loves us. And our final sponsor. The final sponsor. That was a reference to the 80s band Europe. But more importantly, a reference to the early 2000s TV show Arrested Development, because Job always used that for his magic tricks. Don't you remember? Is it just me here? Okay.
I don't have TiVo.
Okay, well, you know what?
I just listen to Belle Biv DeVoe.
Maybe you don't have TiVo because you're saving all your money to buy your first piece of property. And if you're going to do that, you know what you need to do? You need to hit up Cole Strange. He's very strange, but in a good way. Like, you know when people say, I'm going to go out and get some strange? That's what they mean. They mean, I'm going to go call Cole Strange. He's a mortgage lender. He's also a VA expert. So if you're a veteran, he's fantastic at helping you find all the ways to get the most out of your veteran benefits. He's just a fantastic dude. He's a veteran himself. That's right. And he's got hairy arms, a hairy back, a hairy crack, and no sack. He was castrated during the battle of, I forgot which one it was. I think it was with Jocko Willink, and he wasn't actually castrated by the enemy. Jocko just said he didn't even need those things and then cut them off with his teeth. So Cole has no balls, and he could really use a new client. So call him up. Erotic fan fiction. That's the name of the segment.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious. All right. If you could partake in this,
okay.
John.
Do I read this to you?
Yes.
Where do I start?
Right there.
Fast and the Furious erotic fan fiction. This is a really dirty idea I had. Enjoy.
Oh, this is
Disclaimer.
The author. Yeah.
Wait, do I say that?
No, that's the author that wrote it. That's his little disclaimer. But you can just start actually right there. Sorry, my bad.
Lunchtime. You're late. Does it have anything to do with my brother mounting you to a piece of furniture? Maya asked. Yeah, he stopped by for a snack, Letty told Maya. Let me guess, he demanded you make him something to eat? That would be very typical of Dom, Maya smiled. Well, actually, I was the snack, Letty blushed. Oh, okay, I'm already getting kind of horny. Oh, gross. You and Dom have way too much sex.
Dom is Vin Diesel.
The two only has one O. The person
so they're about Paul Walker
misspelled two.
Yes.
I immediately saw too much sex, like too much sex and beyond.
Well, the guy's probably spanking it when he's writing this. So,
dude, you could just tell people, like, especially when someone's like a writer and they don't like there and two, and you're like, do you read other people's books, man? Because you would fucking know better than to write. Oh God, it's like watching reading the local Facebooks of like neighborhoods, and you're like, oh, a lot of people that don't read, but they're on Facebook and they don't know the difference between two and two. It's probably just an honest mistake. I'm just being a fucking elitist.
No, it's fine.
You and Brian have way. Oh no, they did it again. I said too little sex. Oh, God.
Here's 5 reasons why you don't want to be bald. Number 1, people slap your head. That shit hurt.
Letty's moans got louder and louder like the Blur song.
I don't know how you're making me uncomfortable because I'm a horny, dirty fuck. And I'm like, this is
You're not getting, this is hot stuff, John. Open your mind, dog.
I'm just thinking
like
of the Fast and the Furious toys. My kids play with the toys. So it's like hard to be like, it's kind of like what we were talking about before with like how the Simpsons porn, all the weird porn that people make. And you're like, yeah. It's supposed to be like, you know, like, it's supposed to be clean. I guess that's why it's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, get ready to touch yourself, Dom instructed. I can't.
Yes,
so
Dom.
Good. Letty, who was pure in ecstasy, couldn't understand anything. So Dom moved her hands to her moist clit for her, where she slowly started to please herself as Dom pounded into her from behind. Fuck, you so tight, babe. I have to come, Dom. Letty begged as he gripped the couch till till her knuckles turned white. As they both
Was she
reached,
driving down an icy road with a big rig? White knuckling?
dude.
White knuckling the road just to survive. All right, go on. Sorry.
Well, that's what happens when a Dom takes.
It just caught my ear of like, until her knuckles turned white.
Well, I'm sure he has a lot of force, just like a big rig. Both reached the climax. Letty put her shorts back on, and Dom buttoned his jeans up again. You know, I love a challenge, right? No, that was the wrong
That
voice.
was good. That was
supposed to be Vin Diesel,
Vin Diesel,
that
yeah.
was Letty. But
I was impressed that in the story, Vin Diesel came together with someone. I can't imagine him timing his orgasm with a woman.